We're going to walk through Cochrane with Google Maps. We're going to give you a brief overview of what to expect in Cochrane and the surrounding area.
And if you stick around to the end, we're going to share a market report all about the Cochrane area.
Okay, let's get into the location of Cochrane. So Cochrane is located about northwest of Calgary. It's approximately 10 minutes from the city limits, and the Calgary airport is just 35 minutes from Cochrane. You would take the 1A highway into Calgary, take Calgary's Ring Road, jump onto Highway 2, and then take the exit, and it's, again, 35 minutes. Not that full locations would be Kananaskis. Now, Kananaskis offers some great hiking opportunities. Again, you can go along the more scenic route. That would be taking the 1A. That would take you around the Ghost Lake outside of Cochrane, 46 minutes, and you're in Kananaskis country. The other route would be dropping down on Highway 22, going out south onto Trans-Canada, heading west, and again, at Kananaskis in about 44 minutes, so really not that far. Other notable places is the ski mountains. These are great places to go, and it's really, again, not that far. You can take the 1A here, jump onto the Trans-Canada, go onto Highway 40, and you're there in about 55 minutes. Or again, you can take the 22 going south until you get Trans-Canada, and then following the Trans-Canada all the way to the number 40 again, dropping down, and that's about 54 minutes. Then let's look at some of the lake communities that are located just outside of Cochrane. So we have Cochrane Lakes right here. There's a community called Montera, and it's just along the Highway 22 to the north, and it's approximately nine minutes to the middle of Cochrane there. Now, Ghost Lake is a larger lake. It is a reservoir. It's located right here, glacier-fed, beautiful lake. It's got a community called the Cottage Club of Ghost Lake. It, too, isn't that far outside of Cochrane.
All right, let's motor into traffic. What's the infrastructure like in Cochrane? Well, we all know that there is construction happening in Cochrane. The good news is that it's anticipated to be done fall 2025, I believe. They have done some of the construction. So actually from just coming down the 1A off of Calgary to the, middle of town, they've completed that section. So that's completely done, updated. It's got from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. They're now working on from there to the traffic circles and the overpass from 22 to 1A. But that, again, is anticipated to be done 2025. So that's pretty good.
We're going to get into some of the communities within Cochrane. We're just going to give a brief little overview just to give you kind of an idea of what to expect. Cochrane is built mainly of a lot of newer communities. It started to see a boom in around the 2011 to 2016, and it grew about 47%. And currently we're in the next boom, and that had started in about 2022. So what we're going to find here is, let's take a look at Sunset Ridge. So Sunset Ridge is just up on the Highway 22. Let me grab my cursor here. So you're heading south up onto the Highway 22, and you're going to find Sunset Ridge. You still will find some new builds going on in this location. Then other locations would be the Heritage Hills. Again, there'll be still some homes that they're still building. Other location that is almost done but still has some building going on is Heartland. If we were to go up and go down south of Highway 22 along here, we would show up to a community that's called Fireside. Here they're definitely doing some more building. You'll also find some newer schools in the area. And then if we're going to go across to the other side, this area here, they have just started to break ground. So there is a new development that's coming in called Southbow Landing right here. And then the other location that they have just started to build out is if we're going across the Jack Tennant Bridge here, and then you're going to find this location that they're building out, and there's a lot more new builds. There's supposed to be a co-op grocery store that's going in here. This is called Greystone. To the east, kind of heading towards Calgary, you're up on top of this hill, have wonderful views. There's the links of Glen Eagles, which is the golf course. The homes here are either having golf course views or wonderful mountain views, or even both. This here, Glen Eagles, is started to be built in about 1994. So it's not one of the newer communities, but it does have those amazing views.
Cochrane is well known for embracing its small business. Now, they do have their Walmarts, their Safeways, their Save On Foods, their big box stores, but Cochrane is really, really well known for its mom and pop shops. So you've got things like the Found bookstore that is used in new books with a coffee shop in the back. You've got McKay's ice cream, which is like world renowned. You've got the Cochrane Hotel, which is actually called the Rocky View Hotel, but way back in the day, I'm pretty sure it was called the Cochrane Hotel. You've got the Fence and Post restaurant that's like a little bit more fine dining. So all kind of mom and pop small business owners, and they thrive on that First Street in Cochrane. That's kind of the hot spot of Cochrane is First Street. The other thing to note is there's a Cochrane Farmers Market. So who doesn't love a farmers market? It runs every Saturday. I believe it's June to October. Don't quote me. Check out their website. They also run a Christmas market. They run a spring market. I think they're trying to bring back a street market as well in the spring. But again, check out their website. It is where it's hosted is actually at the Spray Lake Sawmill Rec Center. So that's over by the new community of Greystone. It's in the parking lot is where you'll find that one. The next thing is, so this is kind of the First Street. So this is the famous little street that everybody goes to and visits as a tourist. So you've got Rocky View Hotel. The Texas Gate is like a steakhouse, really good. And then you've got McKay's here on the corner. You've got right down the way is the Found bookstore. Then up the hill in Fireside, you have the Wandering Willow Boutique. So that's like a really cool retail store, and that's up as you're going west on the 22. On the other side of Cochrane, up by Sunset, we've got the Cochrane Bakery. So really, really actually good bakery. I highly recommend checking it out, but that's up in Sunset. So it doesn't matter really where you are in Cochrane. There's usually like a mom and pop shop or a small business in there. The other one I want to note out is Half Hitch Brewing Company. I really actually like the location of where that is. It's kind of it's in the industrial area, but it's actually a really cute building. It's really cool. I highly recommend go check it out. So yeah, if you're in Cochrane, check out the local businesses. There's tons of small businesses. They really support it. It's a really great community for that, and hopefully they never lose that.
Okay, let's get into the Cochrane's parks, some off-leash dog parks, and as well as their pathways. We'll kind of get into some of the sports things that they have here within the town. When we pull up the dog leash parks on Google, it actually doesn't show you one of them here, so we're going to go to that one first. So if we're looking here at this area, going down the 1A highway, going west out of Cochrane, there is a little dog park that's here in Heritage Hills area. If we are going to come back down through the Highway 22 going south, you're going to see that there is, again, some more off-leash dog parks. One of them, of course, is the Small Dog Park. And then Mitford Park has a bigger area. It has both leash and unleashed. Riverfront Park as well has a dog park area. You'll have to, of course, have them leashed until you make it to the designated area. And then another great location, along here, there is multi-use pathways, but it is a place that you can bring your dog and be able to walk right beside the river. It's really, really beautiful. So Cochrane has obviously lots and lots of different parks to choose from. They also have their playgrounds. They have their outdoor rinks. They have soccer fields, baseball fields. They also have a BMX park, which is pretty cool. BMX park here, let's get out so we can see where we are. So the BMX park, of course, is located in the northwest side of Cochrane. So this is just Highway 22 here, and it's to the west of Highway 22. Some other things that they have is the Cochrane Lake, Spray Lakes Sawmill Center. This is your sports complex. Here you're going to have, let's again get out a little bit. Okay. So here it's located kind of in the southeast corner, right by the Bow River. Here you're going to find your swimming pools, your arenas, your turfs, your fitness, different programming, climbing walls, so much to discover in there. It's really a great facility. Then we have some of our bigger parks. One of them, of course, is located within Cochrane. Again, let's get the thing here. So this is Highway 1A. We've come down the hill from Cochrane, and then you'll see to the north here, the historic Cochrane Ranch. That's where you're going to see the Men of Vision statue, the one where you see all over Cochrane's advertising and stuff. It's kind of the mascot, the man on the horse. Within this section, there's an amazing trail that you can follow, all sorts of trails. There's hiking, biking, etc. But there is a really unique tree, the grandfather tree. Please stay off the roots, but it is a beautiful, beautiful spot to go and check out. Now, some other things that are pretty cool is there is a park, a giant park that will, let's get out of here. Okay, so we have this giant park called the Glenbow Ranch. It's very, very huge, very beautiful hikes and stuff, lots of things to do. But as you can see, it actually connects right into Cochrane. And as you can see, it can go for quite a distance over towards Calgary there. So yeah, lots of things to check out and enjoy living in the Cochrane area.
All right. Things to do in Cochrane. There is a lot of things to do, seeing how Cochrane is just a town. So first off, one of the most well-known things about Cochrane is the Links of Glen Eagle. That's a really well-known golf course. That's up at the top of the hill of 1A in the Glen Eagles district. So if you're a big golfer, you would really appreciate the Links of Glen Eagles. The next thing to talk about, which, like, growing up, I just remember seeing all these paragliders and all that. Like, we'd always on the weekend in the summer, you'd see paragliders out there. So that's a big thing about Cochrane, is if you're there in the summer, you're usually going to see them all summer long paragliding. They're up on the Cochrane Hill. The other thing to note is the Cochrane Rodeo. So that's, every Alberta town's got to have a rodeo. So Cochrane has their own little rodeo. It's down in the heart of Cochrane. You'll see it at the Lions Club. And then you've also got bull riding as well. Over at the Ag Center, you've got your horse jumping and riding and all that stuff. And that's up by the 22 1A where they're doing all that construction. That's where the agriculture center is, set into the hill there. Another fun thing to note is the public library. So that's a really good one for if you have little ones and stuff and you're looking for some family time. Cochrane Library is also near the downtown core of Cochrane. What's really cool about the Cochrane Library is they actually have like a little seed bank, so you can go and get seeds. If you're a little bit more on the adventure side, I would say, just outside of Cochrane, the well-known Yamanuska Wolf Dog Sanctuary. Not sure if I said that right, but if you are, up for a little thrill, you can go check that out. There's so much more to do in Cochrane. These are just a few things that you can do. If you are an outdoor enthusiast, Cochrane is your place to live. Like, there is walking paths, trails, and whether it's winter, fall, summer, spring, there is always an activity to do in Cochrane. That's kind of one of the great things about that town.
Okay, we're just going to briefly get into a little bit about Cochrane's medical. They have a urgent care center inside of Cochrane. Now, it's not open 24 hours, but the staff there is wonderful. Urgent care, which is nice to have it there for, not typically your emergency situations, but it's still nice to have instead of having to worry about going all the way into Calgary. But for those emergency situations, The Calgary hospitals, let's take a look at them. There's, of course, the Rocky View General Hospital. This would just be going onto Highway 1A, taking the Ring Road, 201, and then coming in over here through Signal Hill area. And that's approximately 35 minutes. The other hospital that is located inside of Calgary is the Foothills. That is also, again, coming through the 1A here, right into Calgary, and then quickly jumping onto the Trans-Canada and then going here to the Foothills Medical Center. That's approximately 25 minutes, 26 minutes. The Alberta Children's Hospital, which is another good one to know about. Again, a really fabulous hospital. It isn't too far neither. It's about 25 minutes away, again, on your 1A highway coming out of Cochrane. Now, some other things to note here is there's multiple school choices for people with children. There's the public schools, there's the Catholic Christian schools, there is Francophone, and there's French immersion. And then for those that are kind of interested in some of the college courses, Cochrane does have the Bow Valley College Cochrane campus right inside town, which is great to have this right inside your town.
All right, now we wouldn't be really good at real estate agents if we didn't talk about the housing market in Cochrane. So, I've pulled up the last 10 years of the sale price in Cochrane, and you can see like around 2014, between 2014 and 2020, we've been hovering around the 475, 450. It's always been below 500,000. 2021 is when we kind of seen it get close to the 500,000, but then 2022, look at this. We went from 494,000 just over as a median house price, jumped to 599, so just under 600,000 for 2022. That's a substantial jump. Then 2023, we've jumped again another 10 grand to 620, and now 2024, we're just beginning and we're already at the 610. So that's most likely, we haven't hit the spring market. That's when things get really moving here in Cochrane, is around the springtime. So we're either going to see that surpass that 620 or stay around that 620, which in the last 3 years, we haven't seen in Cochrane. Cochrane was always under the 500,000 for a home, where now we're seeing it. Now it's at the 600,000. That's a huge difference. $100,000 is a big difference. So even if you're a buyer and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to wait till the market cools down and prices go down. Well, if we look back over the last 10 years, well, let's see here. We went from 2015, we went from 475 and we dropped to 455. So, and then from there, we went from in 2018 from 459 and we dropped to 440. So you're looking at maybe a 20K drop. So even if we stayed around this 600,000 mark for the next year, possibly into 2025, even if you were to wait for the market to cool down, it might go down 20,000, which would only bring it down to 600, maybe 590 if you're lucky. But Cochrane has moved away from that 500,000 mark. So if you are a buyer and you're waiting till the market crashes and you can get a home again for 500,000, I think you might have missed that boat. So I think the stats are showing us right here that 500,000 average median price range is probably not coming back to Cochrane. Even if we were to hit a recession, it still is not going to drop substantially. So that tells me also that if you're buying a home in Cochrane, the value is there. Like anybody who bought between 2014 and 2021 has already increased the value of their home, most likely by 100,000. Now, like not every house and, maybe went up 100,000. It all depends on the state of the home, how well it was taken care of, if there's any issues. There's a whole dynamic to it. But you can almost guarantee that you will have some equity in your home if you bought any time before 2021 prior.
There you have it, a brief overview of Cochrane, Alberta.
Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to reach out, call, text, or email me. We're always happy to chat.